It's the Prep Zone Holiday Special. Here's your host, Chris Egan.
Good evening and welcome to our 8th annual Prep Zone Holiday Special from Enchant at T-Mobile Park. Definitely a holiday feel. We've picked out 7 of our favorite stories that we did in 2024, looking at some special student athletes and coaches. Back at the beginning of the year, the Yelm wrestling team had their 10th straight undefeated regular season and another Coach of the Year award for Gaylord Strand. Strand built a powerhouse, and then he went out on top on his own terms. Jake Garcia has the story.
Tate, Josh.
A few looks around Yelm High School and it seems like everybody
Wesley
is wrestling with something.
Let's get warmed up. No questions. Start running.
You got a storied wrestling program fresh off another undefeated season. And the architect
When
of
I
it,
say wrestle,
wrestling with a decision that had him in a headlock.
it was going to be earlier, but I kept getting urged on by my assistant coaches to stick it out.
It's a retirement from wrestling for Gaylord Strand,
This is my 50th. Go!
or as he'd prefer, coach.
I mean, 50 years of coaching any sport, that puts me at 72. A lot of guys, they're walking in canes at 72, and look at me, I'm lucky. Pull down
Strand says that wrestling has kept him refreshed,
and finish right here.
rejuvenated.
Quick sit through here.
But after half a century, it's almost time to
Okay,
rest.
ready?
His disciples are still coming to grips with the idea.
It's a little selfish, but I don't want him to go.
He's been around for a while.
What I'm gonna miss most? Well, his humor. He's funny as hell.
The energy level that it takes to be a wrestling coach, to bring it every day, and to be higher than the kids and your assistants. Other guy, ready. And to push and push every day, it's taxing.
A pricey tax to some, but a task Strand has welcomed with
Put
open
your rear end
arms.
into him.
His first job out of
Head up,
college
look
has
away.
turned into his only job. Longevity. That's now legacy.
For the last 20 years, I think we missed the top 10 one year.
A wrestling reputation that's reached the masses.
We'd show up at a tournament, and then someone would ask where Yelm was. Where the blank is Yelm, they'd say, and I'd tell them. And then after a few years, that question went away.
The only question now is, how do you reflect? 50 years of coaching 15-year-olds
Hip, hip.
wraps up after the season.
This year's reflection of every last match, every last bus ride, every last time I get to lead kids in a workout. The reflections of all the years come back, and sometimes it kind of hits me, and other times I'm very proud of what I've been able to do.
The thing about reflections, though, they stare right back.
Pop it up here and get her open.
Strand will never forget the memories because he's documented all of them.
So what you're looking at is year by year stats.
Starting with the first year of the program in 1968.
Well, there was no history. I mean, you got to have history of the program.
To Strand start in 1974.
And that was my first year. We went 14-4-1. We were 5-1 in league.
The banner year of 1977.
Our first state champion for Yelm High School, Paul Chance. It's just one of those memories that it's ingrained as part of my life.
The same can be said for another champ in 1994.
Of course, Tim Bodine was one of those state champions.
He's gotten softer, definitely.
Because
Yeah.
what you went through was different than what these.
Oh, by far. Yeah, he was hardcore.
Tim Bodine has been Strand's assistant for 25 years.
I want you grabbing this elbow.
That was after 4 years of wrestling for him.
You got that? He loves the sport of wrestling, but I think the biggest thing he loves the most is seeing everybody grow.
That was the case for Tim then,
He was just a little guy when I met him. He was in the kid wrestling program.
and that growth is still happening now.
I've always been interested in it. I just never wanted to tell him I was interested because that signified him leaving.
Other side.
The student may soon become the master.
The program's going to be left in good hands.
Good hands, but no doubt big shoes to fill. Something Bodine says he'll wrestle with soon.
Good duck. Good duck.
The emotional wrestling for Strand is no longer a struggle.
Same thing.
He knows tradition never graduates.
Good. Okay, let's go back to work. 1, 2, 3. You think I'm going to go away? I'll be hanging around. I'll be coming to matches. Keep your head back.
He knows he's pinned down a feeling of finality.
That is so rewarding. Yeah. I get kind of...
Yelm finished 9th at the Matt Classic. We first met Auburn Riverside basketball star Katie Grad back in 2008. In 2009, we introduced you to basketball coach Chris Hippa. The two didn't know each other then, but they sure do now. This was a Valentine's Day edition of the Prep Zone. The Sumner girls and boys basketball teams are having seasons to remember. The boys team won the SPSL championship.
Go, go, go!
While the girls won their 4th straight league title.
I think the biggest thing is kids want to be here. The buy-in is a huge part, right? You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have kids that are buying into what you're doing and want to follow your lead and believe with you, then it becomes a lot harder of a road. And so we've been fortunate to have kids that have put trust in us. First 3 minutes, show them who we are, go win the game.
Girls head coach Katie Hippa is a former high school All-American. She helped Auburn Riverside collect back-to-back state titles and knows what it takes to win.
I mean, it takes a lot of hard work, obviously, a lot of preparation, and a little bit of luck, I think. Just right time, right place, right draw, right players, But I think here we do have the makeup for it.
Helping Hippa at Sumner is former Ravens teammates Nicole Jackson and Julie Williams. But it's another former teammate that would change her life forever. In 2017, Mercedes Wetmore was working with Chris Hippa, one of the premier basketball coaches in the country.
And we're sitting there after a camp one day, and she's like, Hip, I got the perfect girl. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I had actually heard of her, obviously, being so consumed in basketball. And I was like, whatever. And then I guess she was saying the exact same thing to her on the side,
she was telling me
too,
the same thing, and I was like, come on, Sades. Like, I've known you too long. Like, no way do you have the perfect guy. Sades is a matchmaker I didn't trust at that point.
But Mercedes was right, and the courtship began.
She just constantly challenges me. And I mean, constantly will just push me. Just like the same thing that I do with kids that I train.
Nothing, Kessa! So he makes me have more fun. Like, I'm structured and logical and want to plan in place, and that's a little bit of how I was raised, a little bit of how I'm wired, right? He's a little more fly by the seat of his pants, day to day, enjoy everything, right? So I think it's a good combination.
Chris and Katie were married in 2020. Last year, Katie delivered twins, Luca and Kai. They're only 7 months old, but already love the round ball.
They're such good boys, and it's just like looking to like the future as far as like, I'm already thinking like the born backcourt.
Yeah.
Like we've got
We're
two.
like, whoever coaches them in high school
like,
is
man,
lucky, man.
But then I'm thinking the lucky guy's going to be me. I'm going to be the coach. So it's just like it's been fun.
And I think from my perspective, it's awesome having them in the gym, like seeing them with our girls, and it truly does take a village, right? Like we only got how many hands, So sometimes you need people to carry a car seat. The toughest part is when the girls ask to take them out of their car seat in the middle of practice, and I'm like, no, we're focusing on something else here.
Right.
Like building a championship team on and off the court.
Together, 1, 2, 3.
The Sumner girls finished 25-3, ranked 5th in the state. There are 9 players from that team that are returning this season. Well, during the Paris Olympics, the Americans won 6 medals in women's cycling, the most ever in a single Olympics. The U.S. men didn't win 1. Here's the story on a Redmond teen that is hoping he can help the American men get back on the podium. Welcome to the Velodrome.
This is the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome. This is a 400-meter bicycle racing track. We are the only velodrome in this state, which makes us super unique. The bikes are also unique, so 1 gear, no brakes. So super simple, but yet complicated at the same time.
Amara Edwards is a coach for the Jerry Baker Jr. team. This past year, the team had 6 national champions.
It feels amazing that our team has grown to the point where, we're now we have a lot of different national champions here on the sprint and endurance side, and from all ages. It's nice to know that all the hard work we've been putting in for months is paying off.
17-year-old Merrick Gallagher is from Redmond and has rapidly emerged as a prominent talent in American cycling. In 2024, Merrick won 7 national titles and was selected to represent the U.S. at the World Championships in China.
It's pretty special. Didn't think, wasn't sure if I was going to make the cut until after nationals, and I was yeah, I'm up there with some of the best in the nation. And so it was a great feeling and very cool experience overall.
Initially a multi-sport athlete that excelled in baseball, basketball, tennis, and soccer, Merrick discovered his passion for track cycling just 4 years ago. He loves going fast.
We get going up to 40 miles an hour. It's pretty exhilarating, especially when you hit the bends and stuff. Speed is very important if you want to win races, you got to be fast.
Speed is key, but to be successful in cycling, you also need to be fearless.
It was definitely frightening, especially with like how tall the track is when you like look down. But being like afraid is just gonna like make your life a whole lot harder when you got to follow wheels like pretty tightly because you want to be in the draft and save energy. Yeah, can't really be afraid.
And you also can't be afraid to work hard and dream big. That's what Merrick is doing.
I think one of my goals on the table, which is pretty like far in the future, would be going to the Olympics. I feel like that's like just like even competing there would be like something really special.
In 2024, Merrick secured 7 national championship titles. Still to come, their love of running leads to a championship. But up next, the tennis star who's excelling at the next level, and the brotherly duo bringing down the hammer on their opponents. That's next on the Prep Zone Holiday Special. In 2023, we featured Bellevue native Valerie Glosman as one of the top tennis recruits in the country. She had one goal in mind before she headed off to college this fall: play in a tennis major. Ariel Arsuto has that story.
Plenty of good can come from defeat. Even after falling in the final round of the Billie Jean King National Championship, Valerie Glosman still earned a wild card for a tennis major.
And I'm really happy with the result of the tournament because obviously I get to go to the US Open qualifying again, it's an amazing and incredible opportunity.
An opportunity she's had for 3 straight years. Glosman was only 15 when she first cracked the US Open qualifying. Now as a #1 player in the country under 18, she understands the moment.
I've been fortunate enough to go the past couple of years, so I already kind of knew what the tournament would look like, but this year was incredibly strong. There was a lot of great players in the draw, so I went in with, high hopes but low expectations and just tried to work through each match.
It's a lot of pressure to put on a 17-year-old on one of the biggest stages in tennis, but Glosman says she knows that pressure is a privilege.
Just know that everything you're doing is a learning experience and you're pushing yourself to be a better player and a better competitor. Last year I got a little bit nervous because I was, I had a few more expectations. This year I also have some expectations, but it's just such an amazing atmosphere. So I just want to take that and enjoy competing out there. And you never know, this could be the last time I'm there, it could not, but I just want to really enjoy that experience and play to the best of my abilities.
Win or lose, it's not nearly the last match of Glosman's glossy career, as she'll be starting her college career at Stanford in the fall.
Valerie did play in the US Open, winning her first match but losing her second. As a freshman at Stanford University, she made it to the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament, earning All-America status. Well, over the past 10 years, the Kennedy Catholic football team has had one of the most electric offenses in the state. In September, we went into the trenches to meet a couple of very large Lancer linemen.
I'm Lowen Coleman-Brusa. I play offensive tackle and defensive tackle for Kennedy Catholic High School.
Lowen is a 6'4", 290-pound senior. He's committed to play next year for the University of Washington.
I'm more than excited. It's been a dream of mine to play at the U. We're playing under head coach Coach Fish and the offensive line coach Carroll. It's definitely something that not everybody gets to experience, and so I'm very grateful.
But before Lowen heads to the UW, he's savoring his senior season.
Yeah, this is the year with me and him, for sure. Being the Coleman-Brusa brothers is definitely something.
Lowen's little brother isn't so little.
My name's Derek Coleman-Brusa, defensive end right tackle. I'm a junior, and I'm class of 2026.
6'4", 230-pound Derek is one of the top edge rushing recruits in the country.
He's always, being a leader on the field, but at the same time, he's over here knocking heads and picking people up.
This is Derek's 3rd season playing alongside his big brother.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I know not a lot of people can, say they got to play with their brother, and so I'm very trying to cherish everything, every moment, play every game like it's my last and, have fun with it.
Derek and Lowen give Kennedy Catholic one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the state. One blocks the blind side, one's a beast at bringing down quarterbacks. And together, they're best friends.
Yeah, me and him, we don't fight. It's just we're always locked in with each other.
You know, my favorite thing about my brother, he's a big guy, but he's got an even bigger heart.
They push each other, but always in a positive way. They're not making it up when they say they really don't fight. And I've seen them both get a little, grumpy or frustrated, but it's never at each other, and they just have a real good even keel about things, and I think it keeps them grounded.
Do you ever pinch yourself like, oh my gosh, that's my big brother over there I'm lining up with and all that stuff?
Yeah, there's a couple plays where me and him, we're right next to each other, we're blocking down, hitting a guy, and it's like, that's my brother. And it's like, that's not a lot of people can say that, And so, but I'm very grateful for it, and it really is a true blessing.
Who has more sacks? You? Did you got more sacks than
I have more sacks.
You got more sacks than that?
He's got more pancakes, though.
It's never been a competition between these two. They just want to make each other better.
Whatever we do, we're doing it together. And I know he's always got my back. I know I always got his.
Derek will be a senior next season. Lowen has signed on to play his college ball at Washington. Still to come, the sisters that push each other to the top of the podium. Plus, Bellevue's big man with a big heart. That's next. When O'Day won the 3A title over Bellevue, it was the 5th state championship for Coach Monty Kohler. It came in his 40th season at O'Day and was his 394th win. That ties him with the legendary Sid Otten for all-time wins in Washington State. Congrats, Monty. We'll see you for Game 1 next season. Last month, they held the state cross-country championships. In the 3A ranks, Mercer Island had a chance to take home the boys and girls team titles. I chatted with the Islanders stars.
It's amazing. I mean, it's like a beautiful sport. It's kind of what we were made to do in a way. So I just love having the opportunity to just get out there every single day and see what I'm capable of and just push myself to the limit.
15-year-old Sofia Rodriguez is obsessed with running. Last year, she set the freshman indoor national record in both the 2-mile and the 5K, while winning state titles in the mile and the 3200. Sofia also won the cross-country championship with her best friend not too far behind.
I mean, that race was everything for me because I poured my whole soul and heart into that race, and I just really wanted, turning around and seeing Victoria there was just so much better, and I just gave her the biggest hug afterward because it was such a special moment that we dreamt of.
14 seconds behind Sofia, her sister Victoria, who placed second.
It was really cool looking up and seeing she was there, and then also knowing that no one was going to catch me. And so like securing that spot, it was a really good feeling.
Next year, Victoria will run for Wake Forest. In 23, she had one of the best 2K steeplechase times in the country. Together, they could be the best long-distance sister act in the country.
I think she was always pushing me in workouts, always having each other right near each other.
We balance each other out really well. Sometimes I get too serious and she's always there to refocus me and just have fun with the sport. So we're a good duo, yeah.
But the Speedy sisters are not the only ones blazing a trail on Mercer Island.
I first got involved in running when I moved from Oregon to Seattle. And our middle school just had a fun little program, so I just kind of joined that. We just did it to just try to make some friends.
Owen Powell made friends, and now he's making history. The Islanders senior could go down as the greatest long-distance runner in state history. Last year, he set a state record in the 800, won state titles in the mile, the 800, and he's already won 2 cross-country championships. In September, at a national race in California, Owen recorded the fastest time ever on a 3-mile high school cross-country course.
I knew there's some really talented individuals and talented teams in that race, so I just wanted to go out there and compete to the best of my ability.
In October, the Gatorade Track Athlete of the Year won the Nike Hole-in-the-Wall invite and set a new course record. In a 2-month span, he won 2 of the most prestigious high school races in the country.
I think it's just been consistently training. I haven't had any major injuries. I've just been very smart about my training.
Owen's parents both ran for Stanford and now coach for the University of Washington. But Owen says they've never pushed. They've let him run his own race. How much do you lean on mom and dad for advice?
Actually, not a whole lot, because I'll sometimes even just ask them a question. They'll be like, they'll just say, I don't know, ask your coach. You got a coach.
High above, they may look like your average runners. But Owen, Victoria, and Sophia are anything but. From the trails to the track, these three are running away from the pack as they run after their dreams. Sophia won the girls' individual title. Victoria was third. Owen won the boys' title. And Mercer Island took home the boys and girls team championships. And finally tonight, the big man on campus at Bellevue High.
It's amazing. I mean, you get to hear the band. We hit a bell before every game. So seeing everybody pumped up in the stands, it's amazing.
At Bellevue High, there's tradition. And while ringing a bell on game day is one, another is winning. The Wolverines are the defending state champs, and senior Dimitri Manning is a big part of the team. He's one of the top-ranked offensive linemen in the country.
His speed and his discipline for his size is really unique. I haven't seen too many big kids like that.
Dimitri is 6'8", 336 pounds, and he has an 83-inch wingspan.
I've always been a big kid. I mean, from like kindergarten, I was the biggest one. And then like third grade, I knew I was the biggest when I was taller than my teacher.
Dimitri first started playing football when he was 4.
Ever since that first day of practice of Pee Wee football, I mean, I fell in love with it.
But when you're always the biggest kid on the field, there are some challenges.
My mom would have my birth certificate in her purse. There was one game where I come out and they're like, he shouldn't be playing. And like my mom pulled up the birth certificate and the coach was a little upset. And then, I mean, at the end of the first half, they forfeited. So, I mean, dealing with that, but I've never been like, oh man, I wish I was smaller. I like being myself.
You like being the big man, don't you?
Definitely.
Next year, Dimitri will head to the University of Oregon. He plays with an edge in the trenches and loves to punish his opponents. On the field, he is nasty. Off the field, he's a big teddy bear.
My mom was like, when I was younger, a lot of people are going to judge you and think you're the big guy and you're going to be rude because you're big. So don't let that get to you. So, I mean, for me, it's just to make a difference in people's life.
He's really embodied what the program stands for, right? On and off the field, which is hard work, discipline, loves his family and loves his football family, loves the school, loves the community.
Dimitri Manning is the big man on Bellevue's campus. He also likes to dream big. His ultimate goal, to play in the NFL.
My grandma passed away in 5th grade, and her only wish was for me to either continue playing football or to continue doing something involved with music, because when I was younger, I used to play trumpet, saxophone, sousaphone, drums, and all that. So for a while, I was doing both, but then, I ended up gaining my love more in sports, so I continued with the football. And so, to get to the next level after high school is amazing, but I still have a lot of work to come.
And Dimitri's goodwill has spread to other schools. After we ran the story, Lake Stevens tweeted me. Literally, the nicest young man. When we hosted Bellevue this year, he came over to thank our admin staff for hosting the game before getting on the bus to head home. Those are just some of the special kids and coaches that competed all year long. We dedicate this show to sports photographer Alan Reed, our good friend who we lost back in March. I don't think anyone's been to as many high schools as A. Reed. They knew him at every gym and every stadium. And that will do it for another year of Prep Zones. Thanks again to the folks at Enchant. It runs through December 29th. I'm Chris Egan. Have a safe and happy holidays.